He's not in a cage. No chains, no guards, no locked doors. And yet, he's not free. Every morning, he wakes up with the same thought: I should have done more. Every night, he goes to sleep with another: I'm falling behind. He scrolls, he clicks, he reacts. His world is a cycle: news, deadlines, notifications. He chases the illusion of freedom. Freedom to choose, to buy, to move, to speak. And yet, inside, he feels trapped. He doesn't see the chains. Because they're not made of iron. They're made of thought, expectation, and fear. He tries to escape by working harder, by doing more, by running faster. But the faster he runs, the tighter the chains become. Then, one evening, as he scrolls through another endless feed, he stumbles upon a single line of text. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. He pauses. He doesn't know the name. But the words feel heavier than usual. Epictetus. A man born a slave, yet spoke of freedom. A man who had no possessions, yet owned his mind completely. He was born in chains, literally. Beaten, commanded, owned by another human being. And still, he said, "You may chain my leg, but not my will." How can a slave speak of freedom? How can someone who owned nothing feel richer than kings? The man stares at the quote again. He whispers softly, "What if I'm the slave?" In the modern world, we traded chains for choices. And still found ourselves bound. We chase things we can't control. Forgetting the only true power we ever had was to control ourselves. Rome, around 50 AD. A young boy born into slavery. His name, Epictetus. His owner, Epaphroditus, a man of power. Servant to Emperor Nero himself. Epictetus learned early what power meant. Orders, punishments, fear. He had nothing. Not his time, not his body. Not even the right to think freely. And yet, somehow, he began to think differently. He listened to philosophers speak in the marketplace. He heard them say, "We suffer not from the things themselves, but from our opinions about them." That idea changed everything. When his leg was twisted by his master, Epictetus said calmly, "You will break it." And when it broke, he said, "Didn't I tell you?" Not out of defiance. Not out of pride. But out of understanding. That pain belongs to the body. And the body was not truly his. He had found something deeper. A space no one could touch. His mind. 2,000 years later. Nothing has changed. We're still told what to want. What to fear. What success looks like. But the Stoics whisper through time. You are not your body. You are not your possessions. You are not your fears. You are your choices. And that is where freedom begins. Not when you escape the world, but when you master your response to it. The man leans back in his chair. He closes his eyes. For the first time, the room feels quiet. No music. No scrolling. Just silence and breath. He opens a blank document. At the top, he types 3 words. What I can control. You can be free in chains, or a slave in luxury. Freedom is not about your situation, it's about your mind. Epictetus was once a slave in Rome. He couldn't choose what to eat, where to go, or even when to sleep. But he realized, there was still one thing no one could ever touch. His ability to think, to choose his reaction. That was his power, and he called it the inner freedom. It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you respond to it. Epictetus. When you understand this, life becomes simpler. You stop fighting the world, and start mastering yourself. Every obstacle, every insult, every loss, becomes a test. A chance to prove that your peace is stronger than your pain. The Stoics believed, you don't control what others do, but you always control how much power you give them over your peace. That's the paradox of Stoic freedom. When you stop trying to control everything, you finally control the only thing that matters, yourself. Epictetus taught, no one is free unless they are master of themselves. If you want peace, stop holding on to things you can't control. The more you cling, the more you suffer. You lose sleep over people who forgot you. You replay moments that can never change. You argue with reality, and reality always wins. We live in an age of endless attachment. To status, to opinions, to validation. But Epictetus warned. You become what you love. If you love what is beyond your control, you become a slave to it. And he answered. Never say, I have lost it, but it has been returned. He meant, nothing truly belongs to you, not your possessions. Not even the people you love. You are just borrowing them from fate. And one day, fate will take them back. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop suffering because you care. You can love deeply, but still stay free. You can lose everything, but still remain whole. Imagine your mind as the surface of a lake. Every desire, every fear, every anger, is a stone thrown into the water. The ripples disturb your peace. But when you stop throwing stones, the water becomes calm again. That's when you can finally see your reflection clearly. That's what Epictetus wanted for you: clarity, calm, control. Not control over the world, but over the self. Not victory over others, but victory over your own mind. Freedom, he said, is not achieved by satisfying your desires, but by eliminating the desire itself. Difficulties show what men are. Epictetus. When everything is taken from you, wealth, freedom, comfort, what remains? Only your character. Only your will. Only you. That was Epictetus. A man who lost everything the world could take, yet gained something the world could never give. Freedom within. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the teacher. It strips away illusion. It reveals who you are when there's nothing left to lose. What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it. This is the power Epictetus wanted you to discover. You can't stop the storm, but you can learn to walk through it without drowning. You can't choose what happens, but you can choose what it means. That choice, between despair and discipline, between victimhood and growth, is where your freedom lives. Fire doesn't destroy the sword. It forges it. Likewise, hardship doesn't destroy the soul. It forges it into strength, resilience, and wisdom. The Stoics didn't seek suffering, but they learned from it. Because every wound, every loss, every scar can become a doorway to something greater. When you rise after pain, you rise as someone new, someone unbreakable, someone free. That's what it means to live like Epictetus. To master the art of endurance. To turn pain into purpose. To be free, not because life is easy, but because your soul is strong. Hope this video helps you understand more about Epictetus and inner freedom. Thanks for watching the video.